to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. Just want to let you guys know that tonight I'm going to try to do it once a week, sometimes twice. I'm trying to slow it down a bit, being that there's not a lot of Giants news right now, but I'm going to continue to go live once a week, and that will be tonight. So hopefully I see some of you guys there for that, probably around 8:30 or so for a couple hours. So looking forward to that Q&A hangout. But in this video, I am going to talk about some of the quotes that came out of the mouth of Nick Saban. Obviously the Alabama head coach, formerly of the Miami Dolphins, maybe the best, probably the best coach in the country, who Joe Judge learned under. In addition, Xavier McKinney played under. He had quotes about both of them and what he thinks that they'll bring to the New York Giants. And we talk about it all the time. The fact that Judge learned under Saban should only help. And I've already read some of the things that he said about McKinney in the past. He has nothing but great things to say about him, the versatility aspect, and he thinks he'll fit in fine with the New York Giants. But regardless, some very encouraging quotes came out from Saban today, in relation to both the head coach, Joe Judge, and the safety, Xavier McKinney. So I kind of wanted to go over them with you guys today. First quote we're going to pull up is this. Judge has made it very clear he'll be his own man in the NFL. And Saban believes it's only fair to allow the first-year coach to carve his own path. I don't think it's really fair that when you have former assistants on your staff that they get compared to their mentors, because we all have different situations, Saban told Giants.com, and that's a great point he brings up, and Saban knows better than anybody. I mean, he's gone from one amazing situation to one that wasn't so good with the Miami Dolphins, and, he's saying be your own man, and it's the same thing with Belichick. Everybody always looks at the guys who learned under Belichick, and they try to do what Belichick did, and they fail because of it. At the end of the day, yes, Joe Judge has to take some things from some of the guys he's learned under, but he's got to be his own man. We've had the chance to establish our program, establish our team, get the kind of players that we wanted. When you come into a new situation, you've got to, number one, be yourself. Be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else and do things the way you want to do them and get the kind of players that you want. It takes some time to build that. And he's absolutely right. I mean, in terms of, he's got to get rid of the players he doesn't want. He's got to bring in the players that he does. And he's, of course, talked about bringing in smart football players, versatile football players. And I'm sure it'll be a 2 or 3 year process between the draft and free agency, bringing in all the players that Joe Judge wants on this roster. And Dave Gettleman, of course, as long as he remains on. But, I agree with everything he says here. He's got to be his own man. And it's going to take a couple of years for Judge to get the program to where he wants it to be. Next thing he said, I don't fully know the Giants situation. When we're in college, we don't get to see the NFL games all the time on Sunday because we work. But I know Judge will do a really good job of doing that. But I think that's the most important thing. Don't try to be like somebody else. Be who you are. So just kind of continuing to say what he said. Then he went on to talk about Xavier McKinney. And he goes on to say, I think Xavier has a lot of diversity as a player, Saban said. He can play man-to-man. He's got pretty good ball judgment. He's a good tackler. He's got a lot of toughness. He's very instinctive and an effective blitzer. He's got some burst and acceleration to come off the edge or blitz up the middle. And he's got enough power to take on a blocker if he needs to. So he can do just about all the critical factors in terms of what we look for in a safety here. And as he's gotten experience. He was smart enough to be able to play multiple positions, and that's exactly what Joe Judge is looking for. I'm sure Joe Judge talked to Saban, and Saban had nothing but nice things to say about him. And if you even go back and look at some of the things Saban said about McKinney in the past, he's talked about the versatility aspect, the hard worker, the intelligence, everything else. And then finally, I think the guy's got some dog in him. He's a competitive guy. He's a playmaker. We have a production point system here that we use, and he was always high on that board because he forces fumbles, shows up in the right place, does a good job of executing. He's instinctive. He's a quick reactor. He's got a burst. He can be a knockback tackler. So he's always been a real playmaker for us, and it comes in a lot of different ways. But that's probably his greatest strength, his production, and obviously his versatility as well, and all the different things he could do on a football field. So just kind of want to talk about those things. And I mean, that's just common sense stuff when it comes to Joe Judge. We all know that, and that's a thing that I think a lot of people that have learned under Bill Belichick in the past have not done a good job with. They've tried to copy the guy, and it hasn't worked. You have to build your own program. Yes, is he bringing some of the things over from Bill Belichick? I'm sure. Just like I'm sure Bill Belichick brought over some of the things that he learned from Bill Parcells. But you always got to be yourself at the end of the day. You could take bits and pieces from, people that you respect and learn under. But at the end of the day, Joe Judge is going to have to build the program the way he wants to build it. And as far as McKinney goes, I think McKinney is going to have an immediate impact on this football team. I think he was the steal of the draft, and it's just great to hear the things that his former coach has to say about him, saying he's intelligent, he's very productive, he's very versatile, all the things that Joe Judge wants on this football team. That is what McKinney will bring, and that is why the New York Giants, even though they had an opportunity supposedly to trade down, couldn't do it because he was too good to pass up, he was too good of a player, and he was too good of a fit for what the New York Giants are trying to bring to this football team. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.